They are one of the most powerful predators in North America. Majestic, territorial, unpredictable. But what happens when a grizzly bear decides it's had enough? When grizzlies go rogue, it's not without warning. Every muscle, every growl, every glare, they all speak a language of tension and threat. You can tell when a grizzly's on edge. The signals are subtle until they're not. At first glance, a grizzly in the wild seems peaceful, majestic, even. It wanders slowly, nose to the ground, focused on foraging. The sound of birds, the rustle of leaves, the splash of a nearby stream. Everything feels quiet, balanced, safe. But don't be fooled. A calm grizzly is not a relaxed one. It is simply not yet provoked. Grizzlies are constantly tuned in to their surroundings. Their senses are sharp, especially smell. Even before you see them, they may already know you're near. They appear indifferent until they're not. It begins with a pause. The bear stops moving. It lifts its head. It sniffs the air. Its eyes lock in your direction. Nothing dramatic, just stillness. But this stillness is tension. Ears may turn slightly backward. Shoulders may rise. Breathing grows deeper, slower. The bear is processing a choice: ignore, investigate, or confront. This moment is what many hikers and wildlife watchers miss. The bear hasn't growled. It hasn't charged. But make no mistake, something has changed. It is no longer foraging. It is watching. You are no longer background noise. You are the focus. And once you become the focus of a grizzly, you're standing on the edge of a very fine line. This is the calm before the rage. Not all grizzly encounters turn dangerous, but almost every dangerous encounter begins with a warning. Grizzly bears are not silent killers. They communicate discomfort, anxiety, and aggression long before they act. The key is recognizing their language, because ignoring it can be a fatal mistake. The first sign is often huffing or chuffing. These are sharp bursts of breath pushed forcefully through the nose. It's a warning sound, a clear message. I'm watching you. I'm not comfortable. Next comes jaw popping or clacking, a sound you don't want to hear. When a grizzly snaps its jaws together rapidly, it's like a pressure valve releasing. The bear is stressed. It's restraining itself. But the more it clacks, the thinner that restraint becomes. Stomping is another unmistakable signal. The bear may raise its massive front paws and slam them into the ground. This isn't random movement. It's intimidation. Sometimes it leads to a bluff charge, a sudden sprint in your direction that stops just short of contact. If that happens, you've entered its warning zone, and you may only get that one chance to back off. Ear position tells you even more. When a grizzly's ears are upright, it may be alert but calm. But when those ears go flat against the skull, that's a sign of defensive aggression. It means the bear feels threatened, and it's preparing to respond. Then there's the swaying. A bear shifting side to side, pacing or rocking is not calm. It's trying to decide what to do with you. This body language is fueled by stress, an internal tug of war between retreat and attack. Finally, listen for vocalizations. Low moans, deep growls, or even short roars are not just sounds. They are ultimatums. They mean the bear has had enough. Put simply, a grizzly will often show you exactly how it feels. But it's up to you to understand it and to act accordingly. In the wild, respect is survival. And a bear that feels respected is far less likely to become a threat. Grizzly bears don't seek out conflict, but they are driven by instinct to protect themselves, their young, and their territory. When those instincts are triggered, their response can be swift and violent. One of the most common triggers is a startled encounter. Because grizzlies have poor eyesight, a hiker or camper might unknowingly approach too closely. When a bear is surprised at close range, it may react defensively, especially if it feels cornered or unsure of your intent. A mother grizzly with cubs is another extremely dangerous situation. She is hyper-alert and ready to defend at the slightest hint of danger. Even an accidental approach can be interpreted as a threat. She may display warning behaviors like huffing, stomping, or bluff charging. But if she believes her cubs are in danger, she will not hesitate to attack. Food is a powerful motivator for grizzlies. They can become highly defensive over a carcass, a berry patch, or even a backpack filled with snacks. If a bear feels that its food source is at risk, it may aggressively guard it, regardless of how harmless the intruder appears. Campers who leave food unsecured or hike through active feeding areas often risk triggering this type of response. Territory plays a significant role in a grizzly's behavior. Although their home ranges are vast, bears often return to the same bedding areas, trails, and den sites. A human who unknowingly enters one of these core areas may be perceived as an invader. The bear may react with a warning display or a direct charge to push the threat away. These encounters are especially dangerous because the person involved usually has no idea they've crossed a line. Some of the most unpredictable and aggressive encounters happen with injured or starving bears. A bear in pain or suffering from illness, they act irrationally. It might charge without warning or stalk a person out of desperation. Unlike healthy bears, which often prefer to avoid humans, these bears may ignore typical signs of deterrence. Grizzlies don't lash out without cause. Their reactions are deeply rooted in survival, but understanding what triggers those reactions, whether it's surprise, cubs, food, territory, or desperation, can help prevent deadly encounters and preserve the fragile balance between humans and the wild. If you encounter a grizzly in the wild, stay calm. Do not run. Grizzlies are fast and may chase if they sense panic. Speak in a calm, steady voice. Let the bear know you're human. Raise your arms slightly to appear larger, but do not make sudden movements. Back away slowly. Keep your eyes on the bear without making direct eye contact. Never turn your back or run. Watch for signs of aggression. If the bear charges and stops suddenly, it's likely a bluff. Stand your ground and remain calm. If the bear makes physical contact during a defensive attack, drop to the ground. Lie flat on your stomach, hands behind your neck, legs spread to make it harder to flip you over. Stay still and quiet until the bear leaves. If the bear stalks you, follows you quietly, or shows signs of predatory behavior, do not play dead. In this case, fight back. Use bear spray if available. Aim for the eyes and nose. Use any object you can to defend yourself. Avoiding the situation is the best defense. Make noise while hiking. Travel in groups. Store food properly. And always carry bear spray. Knowing these steps could save your life. Grizzlies are not monsters. They're guardians of the wilderness. Powerful, instinctual, and misunderstood. But knowing how to read their signs, that's the difference between a story worth telling and one that ends too soon. Stay aware, stay safe,